YN. The faint whisper echoed through the cold silence. Slowly consciousness returned to YN. Her sense stirred, her eyelids heavy as she blinked her way back to awareness. As her vision adjusted to the dim light, the reality around her became clearer. They were in a dark, abandoned place. One found herself tied, her hands bound tightly. A few feet away, Somi was tied to a chair, her wrists roped against the rope. In a corner, the twins lay curled up, having cried themselves into exhaustion. Somi noticed one stirring and spoke in a hushed tone, carefully without moving too much. Somi, Wayan, I'm trying to move my chair closer to you. Just wait. If I can loosen the rope, I will untie you. Then you can help free the rest of us. Wine nodded weakly, the pain in her muscles throbbing with every breath. Somi began inching her chair closer, dragging it slowly across the concrete floor, mindful not to make any sound that could alert their captors. Her fingers stretched out, trembling, toward Wine's bound waist. Suddenly footsteps echoed through the stillness. Somi froze. She straightened quickly, pretending to be still unconscious. The footsteps grew louder. A dim bulb flickered above, revealing the silhouette of a man approaching them. His face gradually emerged from the shadows. Wine did not recognize him, but Somi did, and her blood boiled. Somi, you monster, she hissed, her voice sharp. Why have you brought us here? The man smirked. It was Shane. Shane, isn't it obvious? He said, his tone laced with mockery. It's been so long since we have all cocked up. I thought a little reunion might be fun. Somi, cut the drama, she snapped. Let us go while you still have the chance, if Jungkook finds us. Shane interrupted with a twisted grin. Shane, Jungkook, today is his final chapter. I plan to kill all of you slowly, right in front of him, and only then I will deal with him. Somi, you are delusional. She's bad. Keep dreaming, but be careful, Shane. Fantasies like yours can become your downfall. Shane chuckled, but his eyes glinted with menace. Shane, I have learned exactly what's good for me, Somi. I just don't understand why Jungkook always gets to be the hero. Somi, he will come for us, she said firmly, eyes blazing with certainty. Shane, let him, he sneered. In the meantime, how about a little story time? Wyan, who had been silently observing, found her voice. Wyan, we don't want your stories. Let us go now. Shane turned to her slowly, his smirk widening. Shane, ah yes, the wife. I nearly forgot. I must say, Jungkook has quite the taste. You are more beautiful up close. The woman glared at him, fury and disgust burning in their eyes, but they said nothing more. They had only one thought, Jungkook. He would come. He had to. Shane took a step back and sighed. Shane, now where do I begin? Ah yes, let me tell you how this little revenge mission started. Wine and Somi sat still, their silence heavy with contempt. Neither of them responded to Shane's taunting voice. He didn't seem to mind. Shane smirked and leaned back against the table, speaking slowly, deliberately, as if savoring every word. Shane, 4 years ago, he began. A husband and wife were out on a late night drive. They had been on a short trip, just trying to enjoy some time away from everything. But the night didn't end the way they planned. A truck, massive, fast delivered, rammed into their car from behind. Shane, the husband tried everything to protect his wife. The impact forced the car off the road and into a tree. Somehow they managed to crawl out, but their bodies were already broken. His voice was calm, almost eerie. As he spoke, he looked at them after every sentence, gauging their reactions like a sadistic storyteller releasing the climax. Shane, don't you want to know who they were? He asked with mock curiosity. Somi, "Shut up with your pathetic stories," she screamed, her voice sharp and furious. "How many times do I have to tell you to shut your mouth?" Shane ignored the outburst. He leaned closer and whispered the name with venom in his tone. "Shane, Jeonjae and Jeonjiu." The name hit Somi like lightning, her eyes widening in disbelief. Her breathing grew heavy, and her heart felt like it might explode. "Somi, you mean that wasn't an accident?" Her voice cracked. Shane smiled wider. "Shane, finally you get it. Yes, I was behind it. Somi, you." Her voice trembled with rage. "Shane, they didn't die easily either," he continued coldly. "They dragged themselves out of the wreckage, but they were barely alive. My man had to finish the job. Took them long enough." Somi screamed echoed through the room. Tears streamed down her cheeks, her entire body shaking. "Somi, why? What did they ever do to you? Why?" "Shane, I didn't do anything," he replied. "You all made me do it. This is all your fault. I was just the consequence." Then, with a twisted smile, he added, "I have got a special surprise just for you. Want to see it?" Sumi glared at him through her tears, hatred burning in her eyes. Shane turned his head toward the shadows. "Shane, bring him in." Footsteps echoed from the corridor, slow and heavy. A figure appeared in the distance, their silhouette growing clear with each step. As the figure entered the light, one remained confused, but Somi recognized him instantly. There was no mistaking the face, the posture. Her breath caught in her throat. The man she believed to be dead stood in front of her, very much alive. Her lips trembled, her voice barely a whisper. "Lucas." Her world shattered all over again. "Somi, you were alive." Her voice cracked, trembling with disbelief. "We searched for you like mad. Lucas, are you okay, baby?" Lucas stared back coldly, unmoved by her tears. "Lucas, how could I die without finishing what I started with you?" Somi's expression crumbled. She shook her head, heartbreaking. "Somi, what are you saying? We loved each other. We got married because we loved each other. We have children together. You planned all of this." Her voice gave out as her body collapsed into uncontrollable sobs. Wine's voice cut through the air, firm and furious. "Wine, enough of this sick performance. Let it end now. Lucas, untie us right now. You can't betray Somi like this." Lucas turned toward her. His chagrin died. "Lucas, you will die just like you made me die. Only yours. And those kids, I don't acknowledge them." He spat the words, his rage barely contained. "Shane, calm down, Lucas," he interrupted coolly, stepping forward. "You will have your moment again soon. Now go." Lucas hesitated, breathing heavily, before turning and leaving the room without another word. Shane turned back to the woman, grinning with gleeful malice. "Shane, didn't you like my surprise? I rather enjoyed giving it to you." Somi was too broken to speak, her eyes vacant and full of despair. When will you stop this?" she snapped. "This psychological torture. When will it end?" But Shane only chuckled, ignoring her entirely. "Shane, you're not even curious how I found Lucas. When Tom escaped with the children, Jungkook and Somi were barely alive. We are trying to take your bodies too, but too many people came. We only managed to grab one, Lucas." He stepped closer, voice colder. "Shane, he had no memories. A clean slate. Everything he is now, I taught him. He lives for my command." Then came the laugh, loud, cruel, and echoing. Shane's twisted joy filled the room like poison. Elsewhere, Jungkook, Ben, and their team had finally tracked Shane's location. They arrived at a dilapidated building in the middle of nowhere, a forgotten place perfect for hiding evil. Everyone spread out, searching room by room, prepared for anything. Jungkook and Bin moved with purposes, silencing Shane's curts as they came. The hallway echoed with the sounds of feet, grunts, and falling bodies. Room by room, door by door, they checked, hoping, until finally they found it. Inside the room, Shane paced in front of the tied up woman and crying children, growing agitated. Shane, God, will you shut those kids up? He barked. I'm losing patience. And Jungkook, still not here. Fine, we will start without him. He looked over the captives with a weak smile. Shane, let's see, should I begin from my right side? He took a step toward the children, lifting his hand menacingly. The children whimpered louder, Sumi screamed, and one struggled in her bindings. Suddenly, the door slammed open. Dozens of Jungkook's men burst into the room like a violent storm. The game was over. Shane. Oops. So the hero finally makes his grand entrance. He sneered his first thick with mockery. Jungkook stood in the doorway, sweat glistening on his brows, his eyes blazing red with fury. His muscles were taut, veins visible and pulsing, as though every part of his body screamed for vengeance. Jungkook, let them go, he growled, his voice barely containing the storm inside. Shane chuckled darkly. Shane, not so fast. Do you think I orchestrated this entire show just to hand it over? On cue, Shane's man poured into the room. The chaos interrupted instantly. Feet flying, bodies clashing. Jungkook lunged forward, trying to reach the others, but before he could reach them, Shane struck him from behind, the blow crashing against his head. Jungkook staggered, clutching his bleeding scalp, but he didn't stop. Shen tackled him, and the two fell into a brutal fight, flesh against flesh, race against race. Then came a voice Jungkook hadn't expected. Lucas stepped into the room. Jungkook froze. Jungkook, Lucas, he shouted, stunned. Untie them, take the kids and go. Lucas stood silent. Sumi, he won't listen. She cried out. He doesn't remember anything, Jungkook. He is with them now. The fury in Jungkook's heart only grew. Before he could react further, Shen shoved him hard to the ground. A shot fired. Bang! Everyone paused. Shen had raised his gun and now it was aimed straight at YN. Jungkook, no, he screamed. This has nothing to do with her. Your fight is with me. Don't touch her. Shane's expression turned cold, remorseless. Shane, a true enemy doesn't spare anyone, Jungkook. She is tied to you. That make her part of this. Jungkook sprang to his feet, launching himself forward. Bang! A single defending gunshot echoed across the room. Jungkook and Somi screamed at once. No! But it wasn't Wyan who fell. It was Shane. He collapsed to the floor, eyes wide open in shock, blood trickling from a clean shot to the head. Behind him stood Lucas, holding a gun, smoke rising from its barrel. Lucas exhaled. Lucas, game over. Without another word, he rushed to untie the others. Jungkook darted to Wyan, only to stop dead in his tracks. Her body was drenched in blood. Shane had already fired. The bullet hadn't hit her head, it had struck her heart. Jungkook, no, 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 he whispered, falling to his knees. He tore at the ropes, freeing her. Wyan's eyes were fluttering, tears slipping down her cheeks. Her lips moved, trying to speak, but only silence came. Her eyes slowly drifted shut. Jungkook, no, you can't, he cried, pulling her close to his chest, his voice shattering. You can't leave me. We still have a long way to go. We haven't even started our life together. There is so much left to say, so many dreams left. Please, look at me. His cries shook the walls. Somi and Lucas, overwhelmed by the sight, broke into sobs. Ben's voice came from behind, urgent but trembling. Ben, sir, we have to get her to the hospital now. Jungkook didn't wait. He scooped wine into his arms, blood soaking through his clothes, his arms trembling, but he held her tightly, protectively. He ran. Jungkook climbed into the car, clutching Wine's lifeless body to his chest, her blood soaking into his shirt. His trembling hands reached for the steering wheel, but before he could start the engine, Ben rushed over and stopped him. Ben, boss, no, he said firmly, placing a hand on his shoulder. You can't drive like this. Please sit in the back. Let me handle it. Jungkook didn't argue. He slid into the back seat, one still cuddled tightly in his arms, her head resting against his shoulder. The car roared to life, and Ben sped off, waving through traffic as fast as the city would allow. Jungkook noticed something that made his heart ache. Wine was still wearing the same dress he had given her so long ago, the very first one he ever bought for her. But the dress was no longer the same. It was soaked in blood. Stains covered the delicate fabric, a painful reminder of everything she had been through. Jungkook's chest tightened, a dull burning sensation spread through him, as if something inside was breaking. His eyes filled with tears, and before he could stop them, they silently began to fall. There she was, wearing a piece of his love, now marked by pain, and there he was, watching helplessly, shattered from within. The road felt endless. Every second was a lifetime. Every bump made Jungkook clutched her tighter. He whispered her name under his breath again and again, like a desperate prayer. Finally they arrived at the hospital. The emergency doors burst open as Jungkook rushed inside, carrying Wine in his arms. Nurses came running, alarms were triggered, and a stretchers rolled up to meet him. He hesitated for a brief second. He didn't want to let her go, but he knew he had to. They took her from him and disappeared into the emergency room. The door slammed shut behind them. Jungkook collapsed into the nearest chair, his hands shaking, his heart pounding. His eyes were locked on the double doors of the operating room. He could not blink, could not breathe, could not think. Time stopped. Moments later, Somme and Lucas arrived with the children, breathless and wide-eyed. They spotted Jungkook sitting alone, hunched forward, his face pale, his eyes hollow. Somi rushed to him, kneeling by his side. Somi, don't cry, she whispered, tears already falling from her own eyes. She is going to be okay. Just hold on a little longer. But Jungkook didn't respond. He didn't look at her. He didn't move. His eyes were still fixed on the emergency room doors, waiting, hoping, praying. The hospital around him bustled with life, but inside him it was all still, a storm of silence. And all he could do was wait, for the door to open, for a voice to call out, for the sun to rise again for her.